Bicycling is fun at any age, and surveys show that Georgians would love to ride their bicycles more frequently. But what is it that keeps people from riding their bicycles? A lack of safe on-street facilities often causes cyclists to ride on sidewalks, where they may feel like they're safer, but where statistically they're more likely to be involved in a crash. Travel lanes that abruptly narrow, as well as diagonal on-street parking, pose serious risk to bicyclist safety. Without facilities to guide the flow of bicycle traffic, large intersections in particular present an intimidating situation for bicyclists. Blind curves and hills create conditions for dangerous passing maneuvers. Together, these conditions merit separated bicycle facilities, or, in this case, the extension of an existing facility. Here's a view of the same curve coming from the opposite direction. In an urban setting, on-street diagonal parking, delivery vehicles, and construction equipment pose risks for cyclists. On rural roads, inadequate shoulder width and uninterrupted rumble strips force cyclists to use the shared travel lane. We've seen some of the issues. Now let's take a look at ways to make cyclists feel more welcome. Signage is an affordable and easy way to start or improve a bike network. Signage can mark routes or direct behavior. Adequate facilities combined with clear, helpful signage form the foundation of an enjoyable, usable bicycle network. Intersections can be confusing and intimidating for cyclists. You're approaching a red light in a bike lane that suddenly ends. Where should you position yourself? Many communities have adopted the bike box, a painted area that moves cyclists out in front of other traffic, giving them much greater visibility to turning motor vehicles. For intersections that don't have stop signs or signals, pavement markings are still valuable. A cyclist approaching this intersection may or may not know that the end of the bike lane marks the beginning of a well-maintained multi-use path. There's no way to tell. Even if the cyclist does know, it's not at all clear how to transition from one facility to the next. A good bike network might be overlooked and underutilized due to insufficient intersection markings. Fortunately, the solution is simple and low cost. A few pavement markings can easily fill the gap between facilities. In Georgia, bike lanes are the standard separated on-street facility for cyclists. A bike lane must be at least 4 feet wide and designated with a solid white stripe and reoccurring bike symbol. The width of the bike lane should not include the width of the gutter, and a safe, usable bike lane should not abruptly disappear on a hill or blind curve where it is needed most. Many communities in the U.S. have installed buffered bike lanes, which add additional space between the cyclist and motor vehicle traffic through a painted buffer or even physical barriers. As in the previous case of the bike lane meeting a multi-use path, intersections can create confusing gaps in bike lane continuity. A little paint can alert cyclists to the appropriate line of travel and reduce conflicts with other road users. Here, we see yet another example of the disappearing bike lane, on a blind curve and at a major driveway. An extra-wide sidewalk is using space that could have accommodated a safe, continuous bike lane. Serious pavement cracks on the right present yet another hazard for cyclists traveling this road. Best practices for bike lanes include painted pavement for extra visibility, buffers, both painted and physical, wide two-way bike lanes, and cycle tracks, raised facilities that fully separate bicycles from motor vehicle traffic. Even on well-designed bike lanes, landscaping can create hazards. Here, plants crowd cyclists, pushing them toward motor vehicle traffic. Clear lines of sight and a lack of obstruction make cyclists feel welcome and safe. Bike lanes can be highly valuable on urban streets, but they must be designed so that opening car doors will not pose a hazard to cyclists. Sharrows are a type of pavement marking that can be used on low-speed roads that are not wide enough to accommodate bike lanes. They are often used in conjunction with share the road signs. They are not appropriate for use on high-volume, high-speed roads, though they can be used to fill short gaps between bicycle facilities. Sharrows can also be effective wayfinding signage for bicycle boulevards. A bicycle boulevard is simply a low-traffic, residential street which has been designated by signage as a preferred bike route. Communities can be very creative with bicycle boulevard signage, as they are almost always established on locally maintained roads. They are low-cost, neighborhood-friendly complements to a network of on-street facilities. Multi-use paths, greenways, and rail trails are fully separated paved facilities designed for use by pedestrians, cyclists, and other non-motorized users. While typically designed for recreation, these facilities can serve an important role in a bike network. To safely integrate a multi-use path with on-road facilities, care must be taken to increase cyclist visibility. Intersection markings, signage, and traffic calming help incorporate a paved path into a community's bicycle network. Without clear indicators, cyclists may fail to recognize that a multi-use path exists or is a preferred bike route. Common sense is also essential when designing multi-use paths. Here, an old bridge presents serious access issues for cyclists. Whenever possible, bridges should be reconstructed to fully accommodate multi-use paths or bike lanes. Finally, when a path ends, designers should include provisions to reintegrate cyclists with on-road travel. A refuge island is a safe, effective facility for such a transition. Finally, let's talk about making connections. Like any network, a good bike network consists of quality components that are well connected. Here, you're riding on a pleasant greenway, intending to turn right onto a street with wide, welcoming bike lanes. Unfortunately, you'd have to jump the curb or dismount awkwardly to move between these otherwise well-built facilities. A simple curb cut and a sharrow would make this a usable, enjoyable bike network. Cities and towns across the nation and here in Georgia have seen firsthand that if you build it well, connect it, and promote it, people will use it. Creating quality bike networks is easy, affordable, and great for our communities. To learn more about why and how to build a usable, enjoyable bike network, visit us at georgiabikes.org.